Om Shanti. Baba says that the soul and the Supreme Soul are a secret, and you have to tell everyone about this secret. And it was such an enlightening point that I have been thinking about this ever since yesterday, and I can't get over it. So you see, if you look at the world around you, this whole world has three powerful entities or components. This whole world is only made of three components. This entire universe, what is it made of? Souls, matter, and God. This whole world, this whole interplay, if you just break it down, it comes to three things. It is souls, matter, and God. Yes, there is no fourth in this whole world. There is nothing that is a fourth. So this whole world is just souls, matter, and God. And up until Baba comes, we have no idea about souls and God. The only thing we know is matter. And because now you see, if you look at the hierarchy of these three things, then the topmost, which is the highest of high consciousness, is God. Then there is souls. Then there is matter. Yes, so matter, and according to Vedantic theory, if you think, then the Vedas say that the matter is vibrating because of the conscious force. So matter basically is the third category, right? But now you see, because souls have forgotten God and themselves, so we are subservient to matter. And today matter defines how you as a soul will function. So just imagine that your state of man and buddhi, your state of happiness or sorrow has become dependent on matter. Why? Because you have forgotten yourself and God. And these days, matter can make us feel better or miserable. So you say, I'm feeling very good, there is good breeze, or the AC is working well and it has the right temperature, so I'm feeling good. Or you say the water is too hot or too warm, too cold, and I don't like it. So you see, the soul, which is supposed to be the master of its mind and buddhi and sanskar, has become such a slave that nowadays the state of material things around you affects how you feel on the inside. Yes, jabki it had to be the opposite, and you were supposed to be the master, and you are the master almighty anyway. So, and do you see that God doesn't forget himself? So God is, Shiv Baba is, so if you just think about Shiv Baba is a star like me, like you, and he doesn't live in this world 5,000 years. he never comes to this world called where the stage is and the drama is going on. He just lives in the beyond, in the soul world. And then he comes here and he knows who he is. So he says, I will transform everything here. Yes, and he says that, why don't you remember, why don't you wake up? You please have some remembrance about who you are and come and cooperate with me. And then we say, oh, you do your job, we called you for your job. We can't cooperate with you. We don't know how to cooperate with you. So we are subservient to matter. We can't deal with matter. So you see that God, just because he remembers who he is so powerful. And he is so powerful that he is the purifier, and anybody, to the extent of whatever impurity they are in, when they come to Baba, Baba doesn't get affected by their impurity. And Baba can influence purity, peace, love in each soul that comes to Baba. So just because Baba remembers who he is so powerful. And just because we forget who we are, and we forget who we belong to, and we forget our original powers and qualities, we become subservient to matter. So this is something very amazing that Baba tells today. And so this whole world, we are all souls. So whatever number we are sitting here right now in front of each other, who are we? We are souls. But you see, it's such a secret. You can't see the soul. And then you think this is a person from Bihar, and this is a person from West Bengal, and this is a Hindu, and this is a Muslim, and this is an engineer, or this is a government servant, or this is a doctor who is sitting, and then you are talking to each other in that, under that illusion. And you can't see that they are all souls on a journey, and we are all actually just points of light taking these bodies and interacting with each other. And whatever we are doing has got nothing to do with our age or gender or social status, and it has got everything to do with our sanskars and our state of man and buddhi. Yes, so we are souls, and this is such a secret that it always stays hidden, yes, amongst us, and rarely do we notice who is talking. It is a being with a man, buddhi and sanskar that's talking. And that has got nothing to do with the context that you are operating in. Yes, so you might look very physically fit, or you might look frail, or you might look anything, you look like anything, but then you could be anyone. Yes, and I was once addressing a seminar on Mahatma Gandhi, and it was the 2nd of October, and then they had asked me to speak something. So then I thought about Mahatma Gandhi at that time, and then it made me think that he was such a frail man. Yes, so frail in body, and he didn't look like a leader. If you look at him objectively, he was very frail of body. But then look at the spirit he had, and look at what he could do. So it doesn't matter what you wear, how you look, whether you look strong, you look weak. How does it matter? The man who pioneered the freedom struggle was a lean, thin, frail man. And he walked with a stick, and he could do all of that. So we are so consumed by matter, and we think that The body matters, the material world matters, the possessions matter, the relationships matter. But Baba says what matters is you and your state of being, of knowledge, of peace, or of purity, of happiness. That is what matters. And when you are in your element, then you are very powerful, and then matter has no power over you. And then Baba says, and children have forgotten me, and they don't understand that God comes and God is sung and held as the ocean of knowledge, ocean of purity. He is called the purifier. So obviously he would be coming. And then we talk about God and we dismiss him at the next step. So everybody is talking about God, and then you say God has come. They say, how can God come? So is God just something you talk about? So if you keep calling out to him, he must exist and he must come. But then nobody believes that God comes. So Baba says, so your intellects have become such that you do not consider or recognize souls, you don't consider or recognize God. And then Baba says, souls you are and God I am, and I come and I take Brahma Baba's body because I don't have a body of my own, and I talk. And always in every scripture there is a mention of one human who supports God in his act of creation. Whether you see it in Islam, then they talk about Adam. In Christianity, they talk about Adam. In Hinduism, they talk about Brahma. So Baba says there is an Adam or a Brahma, and that Brahma is the human who I enter. And I and he together carry out this work of creation. And that is what you call me out for. You tell me that please relieve us of our sorrow and bestow us with happiness. And you say purify us. So I must come and do that for you. And that is precisely what I'm doing. I'm telling you how rusted your intellect has become, and I'm cleaning it of all the material consciousness and bringing you to the awareness of who you are, who you belong to, and what your virtues and powers are. Yes, so this is something, and then Baba says that this is a secret, and because this is a secret that nobody knows about souls and God, and you are a soul and you don't know. It's a secret about who you are, and then you go and tell this secret to everybody. So that is seva. So Baba says you have to tell everybody this secret that you are a soul. And you are not who you think you are, or you are not dealing with who you think you are dealing with. Yes, you are dealing with a soul, and just imagine if you could be completely aware all the time that you are dealing with souls and not the people as you think in the body conscious way. Then life would be so easy, because do you know, we are not betrayed by people, we are not hurt by people, we are hurt by our expectations based on body consciousness. So when you are in body consciousness, you look at the body, you look at their present context, and your expectations of how they should conduct themselves is based on those factors. And it is your expectations that are failing you. Yes, so if I see that you are a small child, yes, and then you're throwing tantrums, then I have no problems with you throwing tantrums because you are a small child and you are allowed to do that, right? But when I see you have a big body and then you're throwing tantrums, then I get irritated. So it is not the tantrums, it is my sense of who you are and my sense of whether you are allowed to do it or not do it, which is making me upset. So if I can just see that you are a soul and you could be in a tiny body, you could be in a big body, and you could have any sanskars whatsoever. And then I just see your sanskars as your sanskars. So you have a sanskar of throwing tantrums. I don't go into whether according to your age and your profile and your setting you are allowed or not allowed to have those tantrums. So if I don't go into that whole machinery, then I will never be upset because I can just see your sanskars for what they are. I see that you have this sanskar and you do that. Yes, you have an employee, he comes late. So you think you are an employee, you are not allowed to come late. I am the boss, I am allowed to come late. And I am coming on time and you are coming late. That is not allowed. But your employee has a sanskar of coming late. That is a soul. So you decide how you want to operate with them. But then you cannot dismiss somebody as right or wrong based on how you think they should fit into this context. So this is the whole problem. So this little secret, if you could just stay aware of this little secret all the time. And then Baba says, if you could stay aware of your virtues and powers, that you have the ability to stay loveful, to stay patient, to stay happy, come what may. And then do everything with patience, with tolerance, with love, with everything. So the work will be done, but the energy with which it will be done will be very different. That same work will be done, but the energy and the intention and the attitude that you will put into it will be very, very different. So this is the big, sweet revelation that Baba is giving us today, and it was very fascinating to open our mind's window to this little thing that there are only 3 entities and 2 of them remain hidden. And we were only operating with one, that is matter, and that is how the problem started. And then today Baba says that this is a secret I tell you, and you also please make an effort to share it with everybody. Yes, so you must read the Murli, and in the Murli Baba is talking about this in detail. Now I want to talk about 2 or 3 more points. Baba in the Murli today says, what is the sign of children who have unbreakable faith in Shiv Baba? So Baba says, they continue to follow Baba's Shrimat with their eyes closed. So they never even open their eyes and check whether that Shrimat is right according to them or not. So they continue to follow Baba's Shrimat with their eyes closed, no matter what directions they receive. They would never think that there might perhaps be some damage caused through that, because they know that the Father is responsible for the children who have such faith in their intellects. They receive strength from their faith, and their stage becomes unshakable and immovable. Now, let me tell you some stories of how the seniors in the Yajna had such unshakable and immovable faith, like the kind that Baba is talking about today. So you see, there was this brother Vishwakishore Bhau, and Vishwakishore Bhau is, if I say that he was Baba's right hand, it wouldn't be wrong. So when Shiv Baba entered Brahma Baba and Brahma Baba started obeying Shiv Baba's Shrimat and started this work of creation, then at that time there was Vishwakishore Bhau, and he carried out, just like Shiv Baba said, did everything that just like Brahma Baba did everything that Shiv Baba said, Vishwakishore Bhau did everything that Brahma Baba said. Okay, so that was the kind of obedience he had. Now you see, in Mount Abu, we had to procure a land, and the land on which Pandav Bhavan, the oldest premise that we own, is established. That land had to be procured. Now, Vishwakishore Bhau had to go and negotiate for that land. Now, he went to Brahma Baba and he asked, what price should I quote for that land? Now, Brahma Baba gave him a price which was unbelievably low. So, you see that now Vishwakishore Bhau is a person who knows the market. So, Brahma Baba gave him a price which was like way below the current market price. But Vishwakishore Bhau, once Brahma Baba said, you quote this price, he did not create a thought that if I quote this price, then probably this deal will not go through. He did not apply his sense of business behavior. And he had this unshakable and immovable faith that whatever Baba says will definitely happen. And then he went and quoted that price to the owner of that place with that faith. You know, you could do this in many ways. First thing is, he could have said, no Baba, this doesn't make sense and I don't think that this price will be the right price to quote. The second option was, he could say that, okay, let's see how Baba will make this deal go through. So I don't think this is going through, but if Baba does it, it would be great. Yes, but no, he had the attitude that Baba said it, that means this is happening. And he seconded, his faith in Baba also gave power to that deal. And you know what? That deal took place in that quoted price. And when that deal went through, then Vishwakishore Bhau went and reported to Brahma Baba. And then Brahma Baba said, you get the papers ready as quickly as possible. And then, you know, the next day, that fellow who gave the land, he came and said, I don't want to give the land at that price and I want it revoked. But the papers had been signed. So you see, Baba will do things that are impossible. Yes, but if we knack our brains and we apply our faulty logic and we apply our conventional wisdom and we sabotage it, then how will it work? So this is why Baba says, if you just do as Baba says And I'm not talking about things that are very obvious, like if you wake up at Amrit Vela, obviously you will have good health. Obviously, if you meditate, you will have good health. Pure food, out of question, that's good for you. Not getting angry, not staying peaceful, these things are definitely good for you. But even when it comes to very practical matters, and you take Shrimat from your Nimit, let's say you ask your Nimit sister about what should be done in a certain situation, and then she talks to Baba and tells you something, go by it. Don't have second thoughts. Because when you have second thoughts, you are self-sabotaging your chances. So Baba tells us this beautiful law, just close your eyes and do as Baba says. And only yesterday I heard a very good quotation. I saw it somewhere and it was very nice. So it was just 2 lines. It was, God helps, just listen to Him. God never does anything but help. So you just have to listen to Him and not knack your brain in between. And Baba says, if you do that, then you receive the power of faith, and things that look impossible in the first instance will just happen miraculously with that power of faith. But you should have that unshakable, immovable faith for the impossible to happen. So this is something that Baba teaches us today. And then Baba tells us one very important thing today, which is Baba says, your duty is to make everyone into a master of the land of happiness. Don't cause anyone sorrow. Why some don't have knowledge? When some don't have knowledge, they cause a lot of sorrow. Then no matter how much you explain to them, they just don't understand. So Baba says, you focus so much on giving knowledge to someone, but Baba says, first give them happiness. First give them love. And if you give them happiness and love, then you give them knowledge, the knowledge is accepted. And if you give them sorrow and then you tell them that you are the child of the ocean of happiness and the ocean of happiness has come, they are not going to listen to you. So this is why Baba says, first focus on the being, then on the doing. First remember who you are and behave accordingly. And Baba says, the ocean of happiness has come, the ocean of love has come. He has adopted you, reminded you about who you are. So you are the master ocean of love and happiness. So first be who you are, then tell other people who they are. So when you are in your essence and in your fragrance, then whatever you tell them will go through, because they can see you are walking the talk. And if you're talking something and doing something else, then whatever amount of knowledge you try to give them, they are not going to listen to you. So this is something very important that Baba tells us today, that is, you are the children of the ocean of happiness. Do not give sorrow to anybody, because once you give someone sorrow, you go and try giving them knowledge, they don't take it ever. So this is something you bear in mind. And then in the blessing today, Let me read out the blessing for you first. Baba says, just as you are the Father's children, and there is no percentage in that. You don't say, I'm 30% Baba's child. So you are Baba's children, yes? In the same way, let all percentage of yoga finish. That is, my yoga is 5%, 10%, 20%. Don't do that. And Baba says, let all percentage of yoga finish in your stage of a constant and easy yogi. So, yoga is natural. So, you see, we are souls, we have a natural connection with Baba. Souls belong to Baba. So, we are natural, constant, and easy yogis. We don't meditate, we are natural meditators. Yes, so we shouldn't have to make effort to meditate. So Baba says, let you become a constant and easy yogi. Let it become natural and your nature. Some people have a particular nature and they continue to move along according to that nature, even against their conscious wish. Yes, so some people say, I can't help but get angry because I'm an angry person. So Baba says, people quote these kind of things also. And here, you have to just be you. And your nature is to be connected with Baba, to be a constant yogi. So what is so difficult about it? In the same way, let this also become your nature. What can I do? How can I have yoga? Finish all those things. And you will become perfect in every subject. Now, Baba says, if you are a constant yogi, you will always be perfect in every subject. And Baba defines the word perfect for us. And what is perfect? Perfect means to be free from effect and defect. Perfect means to be free from effect and defect. Now, in the world normally, do you know what perfect means? The one who sees only defects. So you meet a person and they claim to be perfect, and what they can see is only defects around them. Yes, so Baba says that is not perfect. What is perfect? When you don't have a defect. And what is a defect? A defect doesn't mean that you don't know how to do something. If you don't know how to do something, you can learn it. That's not a big deal. Knowing how to do something is not perfection. But how to always stay in the right energy, that is perfection. So you are defected if you are not in the right spiritual stage. If you're not knowledgeful, loveful, peaceful, that is a defect. So Baba says, remove that. Remove that defect and be beyond effect. And the biggest defect is to be affected by the world around you. So Baba says, who is perfect? The one whose resonance is right. And the second, the one who is beyond the influence of the external world around them. So the one who is beyond effect and defect is perfect. And Baba says, you have to be perfect. And how will you become perfect? If you're always tuned into me. So how does this connection come? When we are in yoga with Baba, why will I be beyond effect and defect? because you become like the one you are connected with. So when you are in yoga with Baba, you will be virtuous, you will be full of powers. So you will be beyond defects. And then the second thing is, because you are with Baba and your heart is full, so other things will not be able to affect you. So you will have a heart full of contentment, full of love, full of purity. And that kind of a heart will not be influenced by the world around it. So this is something that Baba says. And the slogan Baba says, if you want to tolerate something, then tolerate it happily, not out of compulsion. But in the Hindi Murli, when I read the slogan, I felt it should be translated as, if you have to tolerate something anyway, then tolerate it out of happiness, not out of compulsion. Now you see, there are people who ask me, when we talk about tolerance, there are messages I receive and people ask, so why should we tolerate, or what should we tolerate? But let me tell you, in this life, you don't have choice about tolerating. Yes, so people, situations, things, behaviors, circumstances will be such that they will not be according to how you want them to be. And those are places where you will have to use your power to tolerate. And what happens if you don't use your power to tolerate? Then you end up messing yourself. Yes, so if you don't want to tolerate, then you allow that situation or that behavior to traumatize you, then you are at a loss. And if you just pull up that power to tolerate, then it acts as a shock absorber, and that situation or that behavior is already there. So you can't help its existence. You can only help how you respond to it. So Baba says, in this world, there is not much choice about tolerance, because people, situations, behaviors, everything will not be according to how you want them to be. So you have to use your power to tolerate. And Baba says, when you have to tolerate, please do it happily. Why do it with a miserable attitude? Yes, so basically, when personally, as a personal policy, I always emerge my power of tolerance in a very practical way. Like, I never expect that in this situation I will not have to tolerate. So even if you are going on a holiday and you have paid like profusely for the package, you go there and then something goes wrong and you have to tolerate. Otherwise, what happens is you carry that complaint in your heart and you spoil your own holiday. So Baba says that in this world where things and people and behaviors are not going to be your way, you have to tolerate. So better do it happily rather than out of compulsion and I have to, and I don't want to, but I have to. Don't have that kind of attitude, because we all are not living in Satyug right now, and we have not done such karma that we will not have to tolerate anything. So that's not happening. So Baba says, just understand the times you are living in and tolerate out of happiness, not out of compulsion. And tolerance becomes very difficult because you do it with the wrong attitude. Otherwise, the soul has a lot of power to tolerate. Yes, frogs have so much adaptability. We are humans, right? So we must be having greater adaptability than them. But then we don't use it with the right attitude. So you should be proud of your ability to tolerate and adjust, and then apply it wherever it comes to, it has to be applied. Okay. Om Shanti.